Andre Pro, Yaya Toure, Zinedine Zidane, John McGinn. I'm sure all these names come to mind when you hear the term generational midfield talent. And the reason behind this is not only because of the technical ability of these players that is clear as day on the pitch, but the influence that these men have on their respective clubs and national teams. Today, we're going to be talking about the Meatball himself, John McGinn. Once just a wee 18-year-old doing the rounds of St. Mirren, and now a national hero who has led Aston Villa to the Champions League from the Championship. It has the marks of a fairy tale for some, but it's all in day's work for John McGinn. As mentioned, McGinn started his career at St. Mirren's Youth Academy and made his debut for the first team during the preseason of the 2012-2013 season. He made 27 appearances for the first team this season, scoring once and assisting twice. He played 81 minutes in the 2013 Scottish League Cup final, helping St. Mirren to a 3-2 win over Hearts. McGinn continued to put in solid performances for St. Mirren on a consistent basis, and Celtic, as well as various clubs in England, started to gain interest in signing him. However, by the time his St. Mirren contract came to an end in 2015, things weren't how he would have expected them to be at the start of a new season. McGinn missed the last 2 months of the season after a trainer at St. Mirren threw a corner flag into his left calf, which left him sidelined. Yes, that actually happened. I wouldn't expect anything else from the fever dream that is Scottish football. On top of that, McGinn himself admitted that he didn't play his best during the 2014-15 season due to being distracted by various transfer rumors surrounding him, and St. Mirren were relegated from the Scottish Premiership after finishing last place by a margin of 10 points. McGinn started training with Houston Dynamo during the summer. However, they were unable to finalize a deal due to MLS restrictions on signing foreign-born players. In hindsight, not moving to MLS at the age of 19 probably saved his career. However, young John McGinn was low on options. That was until he was thrown a lifeline by Scottish Championship side Hibernian, who secured McGinn's signature on the 31st of July 2015 for a 4-year deal and fee of £990,000. McGinn saw more domestic success come his way at his first season in Edinburgh, this time in the form of a 2016 Scottish Cup title. Hibs beat fellow Championship side Rangers 3-2 in a thrilling final and brought the Scottish Cup back to Easter Road for the first time in 114 years. Not only did they strike domestic success, but they qualified for the second qualifying round for next season's Europa League. They ended up falling to Danish side Brøndby, but the bigger picture was starting to set in. McGinn was back to winning ways. He was playing first-team football and had 13 goal involvements in his first season with Hibs. The 2016-17 season saw Hibernian finish on the top of the Scottish Championship table with 71 points, and they achieved a 4th place finish in the Scottish Premiership the next season. The end of the 17-18 season also saw an end to McGinn's time at Hibs. By this point, he attracted the attention of Aston Villa, who had finished 4th in the EFL Championship prior to McGinn joining. After 136 appearances, 17 goals, 29 assists, and 2 trophies, John McGinn bid farewell to the green side of Edinburgh, and he started a new challenge in the gritty second division of England. McGinn joined Villa for a fee of £2.6 million for the start of the 2018-19 season. Villa were relegated from the Premier League after finishing bottom with a meager 17 points back in the 2015-16 season. For context, 19th place Norwich City had exactly double their points tally with 34. After a devastating 1-0 defeat to Fulham in the 2018 Championship playoff final, the Villains were determined to get back to the top flight and to make a start on reinstating their status as one of the biggest clubs in England. McGinn's first season in Claret and Blue saw a 5th place league finish, enough to qualify for the playoffs to narrow a 3-point cushion to 7th place Middlesbrough. They faced off against fellow Birmingham side West Bromwich Albion in the semi-finals of the playoffs, a tie which they emerged victorious after a nervy second-leg penalty shootout. A clash with Derby County awaited the Villains in the playoff final, one in which McGinn found the back of the net during the 59th minute, a goal that proved decisive as Aston Villa eventually emerged on the better side of a 2-1 margin. After 3 years in the second division, Aston Villa were back in the top flight, all thanks to John McGinn stepping up when it mattered, as well as registering 21 goal contributions throughout the course of the season. Although Aston Villa struck euphoria after their victory over Derby County and Wembley, life in the Premier League is never easy to get used to. Aston Villa spent over £130 million in the summer transfer window prior to their Premier League return. However, their time in the top flight wasn't any easier. Villa survived by the skin of their teeth, finishing in the 2019-20 season just 1 point clear of 18th Bournemouth. And that 1 point came from this very controversial VAR decision. This is an achievement which Roy Keane did not believe was one worthy of celebration, as we all probably remember. However, Villa did considerably better the next season, with an 11th place finish. That was until they were dealt another blow. In the summer of 2021, club legend Jack Grealish joined Man City for a fee of £100 million, the transfer record for any British player at the time. Villa were hoping to make a push into a European position at this point. If Grealish, someone who was previously dubbed the English Toddy, didn't fancy Villa's chances, then who did? I'll tell you who did. John McGinn. Taking over as captain of Grealish, McGinn saw the bigger picture. The 2021-22 season saw another mid-table finish for Villa, but one season later, everything changed. The 2022-23 season saw Aston Villa finish 7th in the Premier League, enough to make the qualifiers of the UEFA Europa Conference League. This marked Villa's first European campaign since the 2010-11 Europa League season, when they made it to the playoffs of the qualifying round. Villa were drawn to Group E with Liga Warsaw, Izzy Alkmaar, and Zrinjski Mocha. They finished top of the group with 13 points, automatically qualifying for the round of 16. It was here where they faced Ajax, whom they defeated with an aggregate score of 4-0, and advanced to the quarters where they faced Lille. Villa won the first leg at home 2-1, a game in which McGinn bagged a decisive goal. They found themselves on the wrong side of the same scoreline for the return leg, but eventually went through in penalties. The European journey came to a halt in the semi-finals, where they fell to eventual champions Olympiacos on an aggregate scoreline of 6-2. When a club breaks into Europe from the lower part of the Premier League table, or in Villa's case, the lower part of the footballing pyramid, they usually follow a trend. Underachieving in the league to perform in Europe, or underperforming in Europe to focus on the league. Villa did neither. Whilst becoming semi-finalists during their first time on the European stage in over a decade, they achieved a historic fourth-place finish in the Premier League. This was the first time Villa qualified for the UEFA Champions League since it was rebranded to the Champions League in 1992. And Villa had taken their first step to restoring the glory days of 1982, when they won the European Cup. McGinn captained Villa throughout his historic season, making 53 appearances in all competitions, and registering 16 goal involvements. As captivating as his time at Villa has been so far, I haven't even mentioned one of the most integral parts of John McGinn's legacy, his international career. McGinn made his senior debut for Scotland in March of 2016, when he was the man of the match in a 1-0 international friendly win over Denmark. As of recording this video, he's recorded 69 caps for Scotland and scored 18 times. One of them was his bicycle kick against Austria during a 2022 World Cup qualifier. Scotland's men's national team has been seeing a bit of a revitalization in recent years, and one that McGinn has played an integral role in. Their qualification in Euro 2020 was the Tartan Army's first European Championship since 1996, and they qualified for Euro 2024 automatically, beating Spain while doing so and edging out the likes of Norway, Georgia, and Cyprus. Scotland nearly made their first World Cup appearance in 1998 and 2022, however, they fell to Ukraine in the semis of the playoff phase. One word that comes to mind when John McGinn is mentioned is resilience. Success doesn't follow him everywhere he goes. He's usually the reason behind it. He took Hibs from the Scottish Championship to domestic success after being at the club for just one season, fired Villa into the Premier League, and is giving Scotland fans something to remember. When St Mirren didn't renew him and Hibs gave him a run, he made sure to give them something they would never forget. When Villa spent over £100 million on new players after promotion, he made sure his spot in the squad wouldn't be something that would be lost. When Grealish jumped ship, after dwelling in the middle of the Premier League table for years, McGinn put on the armband himself, led Villa into European football, and secured Champions League football at Villa Park for the first time in the club's history. On top of that, nobody has more fun than Meatball. Whether it's playing with his brother Paul for the national team, dancing to traditional German music hours after touching down in Berlin for the Euros, or his self-proclaimed largest backside in football, his impact off the pitch is just as grand as when he is on it. So next time you hear the Tartan Army compare him to Zidane, you'll see where they're coming from. Sure, he may not be there just yet, but with a Champions League campaign to come and an incredibly talented Aston Villa squad to lead, you may want to keep a tab on him. So here's to you, Meatball, the man who grabs every chance given to him with both hands. The man who runs through every setback head first. The man that every team he has had a run in for is lucky to have. The boy from Glasgow who's doing on the big stage. Here's to you, John McGinn.